Hi guys, Cliff Olson, Doctor of Audiology and founder of Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in this video, I'm reviewing the smallest and most invisible hearing aid on the market called Lyric. Coming up. Hey, what's going on? See anything in my ear? Nothing? No, come on, look a little closer. Still nothing? That's right. That's because I'm wearing the only 100% invisible extended wear hearing aid called Lyric. But Lyric is much more than just an invisible hearing aid because it has a bunch of different benefits that you just cannot get from a traditional hearing aid. But before I get into those benefits, if you could do me a huge favor and click that like button, it really helps out my channel and helps these videos get in front of a broader audience. And while you're at it, if you have not yet hit the subscribe button with notification bell, go ahead and do that right now as well. That way you never miss one of my new videos. That being said, I really appreciate it, and now let's get into the review. The Lyric hearing aid has been around since the late 2000s, but in 2010, it was sold to the major hearing aid brand Phonak. Over the past decade, Phonak has released multiple new versions of the Lyric device, and they are now on Generation 4. Despite its extremely small size, the Lyric hearing aid is an impressive device that's completely different from other traditional hearing aids. First of all, Lyric is an extended wear hearing aid, which means that you have your hearing care professional place it deep inside of your ear canal, approximately 4 millimeters away from your eardrum, and you leave it there for 2 to 3 months at a time, and then you go back to your hearing care professional for them to remove the one that they placed and replace it with a new one. Not only does this type of placement make the Lyric hearing aid 100% invisible, but because you leave it inside of your ear canal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it is the most convenient hearing aid in the world because you no longer have to change batteries, you don't have to remove it from your ear when you're going to sleep or put it back in after you wake up in the morning, and you do not even have to remove it when you shower. Lyric is also extremely comfortable because it uses a medical-grade breathable foam that suspends the device inside of your ear canal, and it makes it feel like you're not even wearing a hearing aid at all. Lyric is also one of the only hearing aids that you wear all day every day, which means that you also wear it while you sleep, which can be extremely beneficial, especially if you have tinnitus that prevents you from sleeping at night. In fact, tinnitus relief is one of the main benefits that Lyric users report during daytime wear as well. Now, I have a rule where I generally never talk about sound quality because sound quality is extremely subjective from person to person. What one person thinks is good sound quality, another person might think is horrible sound quality. But in the case of Lyric, I'm going to make an exception because you actually get the benefit of analog sound. While Lyric hearing aids are digitally programmable, they actually give you analog sound quality, which experts agree is a much higher quality than digital sound. When it comes right down to it, the benefits you get from Lyric include a completely invisible hearing aid that is extremely convenient, is extremely comfortable, gives you back your hearing all day, every day, and can be programmed digitally but gives you premium analog sound quality at the same time. I mean, what more could you ask from a hearing aid? Now that I've probably piqued your interest in Lyric, let's go ahead and discuss what the candidacy criteria is. To determine candidacy for Lyric, we need to ensure that your hearing loss thresholds fit inside of the Lyric fitting range. We also need to make sure that you are not a significant earwax producer. If there is earwax inside of your ear canals, it needs to be professionally removed to ensure the proper fit of a Lyric device. There are a few contraindications that would immediately remove you from Lyric candidacy, including previous radiation to the head or neck area, and any middle ear condition, including a perforated eardrum, cholesteatoma, or pressure equalization tubes. A few noteworthy considerations that may prevent you from using Lyric include frequent MRI testing, swimming underwater, scuba diving, skydiving, and having any skin sensitivities. I should point out that while you cannot completely submerge your head underwater while wearing Lyric because you risk damaging the actual device, you can take a shower using Lyric. Just make sure not to shoot the stream of water directly into your ear canal. Medical clearance is recommended if you are diabetic, take a prescription blood thinner, have a compromised immune system, have a bleeding disorder, have an implantable medical device, or if you are under the age of 21. If you are a candidate for Lyric, then you actually have to go through this sizing and fitting process, which can often be done on the same day as your initial consultation. First, we start by sizing your ear canal with our depth measurement tool. It has a flimsy end that gently touches your eardrum to give us a depth measurement so we know exactly where to place the Lyric hearing aid so it is 4 millimeters away from your eardrum. Next, we need to determine what size of Lyric to use. Lyric comes in 7 different sizes, including extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and extra large. To determine the size of your ear canal, we use sizers that look almost exactly like a Lyric hearing aid, and the purpose is to determine which size would fit best. We insert these sizers and the actual Lyric devices with a special tool that has a depth gauge, which is set to the depth that we initially measured inside of your ear canal with our depth measurement tool. To give you an additional perspective of what's actually happening inside of an ear canal when being fit with Lyric, I have my buddy Carl here from Ahead Simulations. So I took some video footage inside of Carl's ear, and here's that footage right now. As you can see, when we're placing a Lyric device inside of an ear canal, we first have to determine the depth of the ear canal. Once we identify the depth, then we can use our tool to insert an actual Lyric hearing aid. And as you can see here, a Lyric hearing aid ends up getting approximately 4 millimeters away from the eardrum. After we determine the proper depth, best size, and best orientation of the Lyric sizer, we grab an actual Lyric hearing aid that we have in the clinic. We then program the device through our programming software and place the live device into your ear canal and do a few checks to make sure that they're comfortable and are amplifying sound appropriately. If any additional changes need to be made, we can take our Lyric programming wand and upload any changes that we made in the programming software directly into your Lyric devices that are inside of your ear canal. This entire process of sizing and fitting Lyric devices takes approximately 20 minutes if everything goes to plan. If everything does not go to plan, like we're having to try a bunch of different sizes of devices, having to adjust the programming a bunch, or having to change the orientation of the device inside of your ear canal, then it can take up to 40 minutes. Typically, after a successful Lyric fitting, you will have a 1-week follow-up appointment and a 4-week follow-up appointment just to make sure that everything's going well and to make any adjustments that are necessary. There is a special tool called a sound link that has a removal hook so you can self-remove a Lyric device if needed. The sound link also has a magnet which allows you to adjust your volume levels or place the Lyric into sleep mode by inserting and removing the magnet at different intervals. Lyric patients typically get concierge service, which means that if you have any issues whatsoever with your Lyric device, all you have to do is call your clinic and they can usually get you in same day to resolve the issue. Lyric is also completely different from a traditional hearing aid in the sense that it is set up on a subscription basis. Now, you do get a 30-day risk-free trial, so if after 30 days you're like, yeah, these Lyric devices just are not going to work for me, you can actually cancel your subscription at that point. However, if you do decide to continue with your Lyric subscription, that Lyric subscription date is actually on the date that you were fit with the device originally. Now, I also have another rule where I generally never talk about the cost of hearing aids because depending on where you live and depending on the services that are included with a particular device, these costs can vary widely. However, with Lyric, it's a little bit more simple. So I typically see costs anywhere from around $1,800 for a Lyric device all the way up to around $2,500 for a Lyric device. Now keep in mind, this is an annual subscription, so you could technically end up spending more over the course of time with a Lyric hearing aid, even though the upfront cost of Lyric hearing aids is typically lower than what you would pay for traditional hearing aids. That being said, most Lyric hearing aid users report that it is absolutely worth the extra cost. On top of that, if you happen to be out of town and you're away from your original clinic that you got Lyric from, you actually have a Lyric ID, so you can go to any clinic that dispenses Lyric throughout the entire world, and you give them that Lyric ID. They will be able to refit you with a new set of devices because they can pull all that data of you from the cloud to do the fitting. If you do happen to take advantage of this, just keep in mind that there might be a small fee that you are charged when you go to that clinic that you did not originally purchase your Lyric subscription from. As awesome as Lyric is, there are a few potential drawbacks of Lyric, including the inability to perform real ear measurement consistently. Because the space between the tip of the Lyric device and your eardrum is only 4 millimeters, it is very difficult to get the probe microphone tube into that tiny little space. This just means that other forms of verification and validation become very important when assessing how much benefit you are getting with the Lyric device and to determine if it's been programmed properly. I should also point out that the success rate with Lyric is at about 75%, which is significantly lower than what we see with traditional hearing aids. At least in my clinic, the treatment success rate with traditional hearing aids is about 99%. The biggest factors that go into this 75% treatment success rate is the size of a patient's ear canal and the depth of a patient's ear canal. And on top of that, if a patient has sensitive ear canals with delicate skin, sometimes we can run into some bleeding issues. There is also the potential that even if you are having a massive amount of success with a Lyric hearing aid, some individuals have issues with bleeding ear canals. So when you take the Lyric out of your ear, if it causes your ear to bleed at all, you need to let that bleeding stop, let it heal before you can reinsert another Lyric. Drawbacks aside, the feedback from patients who've been successfully treated with Lyric hearing aids often comment that it's like getting their natural hearing back, which is a huge testament to the ease of use and the quality of sound that users get from Lyric devices. Lyric is definitely not for everyone, but if you want a completely invisible hearing aid that is extremely convenient to use and gives you back 24/7 hearing, then Lyric could be the perfect hearing aid option for you. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please share it. If you want to see other videos just like this one, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out my website, drcliffaud.com.